In recent times, public frustration with Elon Musk, particularly over his increasing ties with the federal government, has begun spilling over onto his company, Tesla. Once revered as a symbol of innovation, Tesla now finds itself at the center of a growing backlash. The controversy intensified after reports emerged of Cybertrucks shedding steel panels at high speeds due to faulty adhesive construction. One dramatic incident involved a steel sheet flying off a Cybertruck and slamming into another lane like a weapon, exposing the vehicle's vulnerability despite earlier claims of it being bulletproof. This wasn't a one-off anomaly but part of a broader pattern, prompting Tesla to issue a sweeping recall. That triggered a cascade, investor panic, plummeting stock prices, and bans from multiple countries that deemed the Cybertruck unsafe, impractical, and in some cases, outright illegal. Across Europe and Australia, governments cited the vehicle's angular design, sharp edges, and excessive size as violations of local safety and licensing standards. The UK impounded Cybertrucks, declaring their designs hazardous to pedestrians, while Ireland found them incompatible with its narrow roads and transport rules. In Australia, a rancher eager to use the truck in remote areas couldn't even register the vehicle due to steering incompatibilities and lack of available parts. Officials in these regions viewed the Cybertruck not as a breakthrough but as an oversized, unsafe symbol of American excess. Collectively, these international moves marked a sharp rejection of Tesla's product and, symbolically, its founder's brash style of innovation. Back in the US, the backlash evolved into a culture war. What was once a badge of environmental consciousness became, for some, a rolling symbol of political controversy. Cybertruck owners began experiencing social hostility, some had their vehicles vandalized, others were accused of aligning with Musk's controversial politics. Online platforms turned into battlegrounds where former fans anonymously expressed disappointment, fearing backlash from friends and neighbors. The vehicle that once inspired envy was now drawing sneers and accusations, as Musk's polarizing reputation began to bleed into public perception of the brand itself. Yet, the most significant blow came not from angry tweets or graffiti but from Wall Street. Investors, once bullish on Tesla's prospects, began to lose confidence. News of global recalls and public safety failures rocked mutual funds and retirement portfolios tied to the company's once meteoric stock. Analysts began questioning the company's internal quality control and Musk's distracted leadership, as his attention remained split between Tesla, SpaceX, and various political endeavors. Confidence crumbled under the weight of growing instability, with even long-time investors beginning to sell off shares, concerned that Tesla's engineering flaws were symptomatic of deeper structural issues. Internally, Tesla employees painted a grim picture of the company's leadership vacuum. With Musk frequently unavailable, juggling meetings about space launches, medical experiments at Neuralink, and federal policy discussions, approvals and reviews were delayed, contributing to operational chaos. Morale dipped as staffers joked about needing to send urgent requests into orbit to get Musk's attention. Engineers warned that key decisions were being delayed or made hastily, all while quality standards eroded. Meanwhile, Washington lawmakers, increasingly skeptical of Musk's influence, demanded accountability. The White House, once an enthusiastic supporter of electric vehicle innovation, began reconsidering its association with Tesla, with some officials even advocating for cutting subsidies and redirecting funds to safer domestic alternatives. On Tesla's factory floors, worker unrest began to simmer. Employees described a high-pressure environment where speed was prioritized over safety, contributing to the panel failures that sparked the crisis. Union organizers gained traction among anxious staff, who were increasingly fed up with leadership negligence and unsafe conditions. While management discouraged union activity, calls for collective action grew louder. Workers felt they had little choice but to push for structural change from within, especially as Musk remained preoccupied with his growing political persona. Internationally, Tesla faced another devastating setback, a collapse in the Chinese market. Once seen as a key growth frontier, China began quietly stalling Tesla's expansion. Local officials cited safety concerns, particularly with the Cybertruck's design, while domestic rivals like BYD and NIO moved swiftly to capture the market. Regulatory hurdles increased, social sentiment turned, and Chinese social media filled with critiques of Tesla's reliability. As Tesla lost its competitive edge in one of its most important regions, its global ambitions faltered, and its financial projections took a steep hit. Sensing blood in the water, short sellers and hedge funds began to circle. These investors, known for profiting off corporate failures, began heavily betting against Tesla, citing systemic flaws and the overwhelming wave of bad press, recalls, and regulatory crackdowns. What once seemed like a passing controversy was now perceived as a turning point, a signal that Tesla's dominance might be slipping for good. Ultimately, Tesla's crisis has become more than a product recall or a CEO's PR problem, it's a full-blown reckoning. The brand that once defined the future of electric vehicles now finds itself cornered by international bans, shaken investor faith, internal dissent, and political scrutiny. The Cybertruck, once heralded as a bold leap forward, has instead become a symbol of overreach, poor judgment, and the cost of unchecked ambition. For Elon Musk and Tesla, the road ahead looks increasingly uncertain. Sensing an opportunity in Tesla's turmoil, a bold investor addressed the press, calling the collapse the biggest payday since the housing crisis. The media latched onto the soundbite, and by morning, headlines were ablaze. The market responded immediately. Already battered by non-stop bad press, Tesla's stock spiraled downward. Short sellers saw an opening and pounced, while retail investors holding on for a miracle were hit with relentless margin calls. Across trading floors, red numbers dominated screens, and some individual investors faced the terrifying reality of potentially losing their homes if the stock kept tanking. Financial analysts debated whether the company was headed for bankruptcy, while a few optimists held out hope that a change in leadership could still turn things around. Regardless of opinion, the onslaught from short sellers only deepened the chaos. Social media platforms became echo chambers of panic, amplifying every rumor and worsening the stock's decline. Investors demanded clarity, but Tesla's communications were scattered at best. A grim realization set in, faith in the company's comeback was evaporating. Meanwhile, rivals were gearing up to fill the vacuum. Ford launched an aggressive ad campaign promoting the F-150 Lightning as a safer, more reliable electric truck. The messaging directly contrasted Tesla's faltering reputation, highlighting Ford's commitment to international safety standards. In one ad, veiled references to Tesla's recklessness gave way to footage of Ford trucks acing safety tests. Many former Tesla fans were left reconsidering their loyalty, reminded that dependability sometimes matters more than flashy innovation. Rivian joined the charge too, marketing itself as a bold but drama-free alternative. News spread of disillusioned Tesla owners switching to Rivians, citing better engineering and fewer headaches. Pundits began painting Rivian as the heir apparent, everything Tesla was, minus the baggage. General Motors and Toyota also readied their own electric pickups, biding their time. These legacy automakers focused on playing by the rules, winning consumers with stability, compliance, and widespread service networks. Tesla, once the king of the electric frontier, now looked vulnerable. But the real blow came from within. A mid-level engineer leaked internal emails to a secure platform, revealing that Tesla had long been aware of major structural issues with the Cybertruck. Management allegedly ignored red flags raised during early high-speed safety tests, prioritizing deadlines over durability. One memo described panels detaching during trials, while another warned of potential catastrophe without changes. The whistleblower's identity stayed hidden, but speculation swirled. Tesla scrambled to do damage control, claiming the leaks were misleading and taken out of context. Critics weren't convinced. Lawsuits began pouring in, accusing the company of knowingly deceiving investors and customers. Many had bought stock based on Tesla's claims of cutting-edge safety, only to now question everything. Amid the backlash, Elon Musk finally addressed the public, but it didn't go as planned. Haggard and visibly strained, Musk appeared for a live statement meant to reassure. Instead, it unraveled into a tirade. He lashed out at regulators, hedge funds, and the media, accusing them all of sabotaging Tesla. His mood swung from combative to defensive, culminating in him walking off stage mid-broadcast after denouncing what he called manufactured hysteria. The live meltdown went viral. Some fans defended him, arguing that anyone would crack under such pressure. Others saw it as undeniable proof that he was no longer fit to lead. Tesla's board quickly went into emergency meetings, unsure how to navigate a future with, or without, its embattled founder. As Tesla floundered, the global electric vehicle market marched on. In Europe, automakers like Volkswagen, Renault, and Peugeot launched new EV lines, taking advantage of Tesla's slump. Their models boasted strong safety features, extended range, and compliance with local regulations. Government funding helped shift old factories toward battery production, creating jobs and cutting reliance on foreign supply chains. Public campaigns celebrated "Made in Europe" EVs, fusing environmentalism with national pride. With Tesla's reputation in tatters, many European consumers pivoted to these local options. News stories highlighted ordinary families who had abandoned their Teslas for more trustworthy brands, showing that the EV revolution could continue, just without its American poster child. This narrative soon reached the US, where conversations about Tesla's downfall collided with deeper anxieties about America's industrial future. In towns across the Rust Belt, communities affected by Tesla-related layoffs rallied together, voicing fears about being left behind yet again. Town halls filled with frustrated workers, demanding to know where their place in this new economy was. Some politicians blamed the nation's blind faith in Silicon Valley, accusing companies like Tesla of chasing hype while ignoring real-world consequences. Others defended Tesla's legacy, crediting it for jump-starting the EV industry and cautioning against abandoning it too soon. Congress became a battleground for ideological clashes, some calling for bailouts, others insisting on accountability. Meanwhile, emotionally charged interviews with devastated investors dominated the media, capturing the heartbreak of those who'd staked their futures on Tesla stock. But amidst the wreckage, new visions for mobility began to emerge. Local governments and grassroots activists used the crisis as an inflection point. Cities rolled out universal EV charging stations, moving away from Tesla's closed system. EV meetups diversified, no longer dominated by Tesla fans but open to newer, community-driven brands. People gravitated toward open-source platforms and ethical design, embracing alternatives with less ego and more practicality. For many, the fall of Tesla wasn't the end, it was a chance to reset. While some abandoned electric cars entirely, others doubled down, insisting the tech was not to blame, just the culture that grew around it. Surveys confirmed the shift. Tesla was no longer seen as a symbol of progress, but as a cautionary tale. This left room for smaller companies to rise, promising not just sleek design, but transparency and responsibility. Inside Tesla, boardroom discussions grew tense. One camp wanted to scrap the Cybertruck entirely. Another pushed for a complete redesign, less edgy aesthetics, more global compliance, a switch from adhesives to mechanical fasteners. Such a plan would cost billions but might restore public trust. More radical ideas were also floated, quitting vehicle production to focus on batteries and AI, or forming alliances with legacy automakers to become a premium tech supplier. Yet others warned that these moves would erase what made Tesla special in the first place. Talks with other manufacturers reportedly began, but nothing was confirmed. Tesla now stood at a crossroads. One path led to reinvention, the other to irrelevance. The only question left: can Tesla survive the storm, or is this the end of an era? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.